Hi, welcome to Urban Goes Green for another week. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Emily.
We're here today with Lauren, who is the Urban Reforestation's Community Development Manager. So maybe to start with, we'll introduce you to everybody and maybe talk a little bit about the projects that you're working on at the moment.
All right. Well, my involvement with urban reforestation has really come about to get as much buzz and action around the garden as possible. There's a really great volunteer community and wider community around the garden as it is, but I think for the garden to grow into the potential that it has, it really needs to become much more than just a place where people can have the opportunity to improve their green thumb or to spend some time in the sun. It really needs to be a place where people can meet and have a barbecue or feel free to have like a fundraising bake sale. Or it needs to be something that people are invited. They realize that it's their space, not just a garden outside of their own.
So in terms of, we'll get back to a bit about the projects that you're working on later, but maybe tell everyone a little bit about your background, like what brings you to this role. I mean, you're doing some fantastic stuff and taking a lot of things on board and taking a lot of initiative, and there's obviously some experience there that's informing what you're doing. So maybe it's quite interesting to talk about your background.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my background is I have a lot of background in community development, communications, and coordination in the NGO sector and the private sector. I did a master's in environmental studies, and in that my thesis was focused on sustainable communities or participation in creating sustainable communities. Mine specifically was in rural forests in Nicaragua, but it's amazing how it translates from rural to urban. And I've been fortunate enough to move around the world quite a bit and see different cities and what the strengths and weaknesses are and how a community really contributes to a city's livelihood and vivacity. And so coming to Melbourne, it's a place that really inspires me, but I also see opportunities where I can take what I've learned from other cities and bring it to things like urban reforestation.
So on that, what are some of the things that you think that you can add to this garden and to Docklands, development in Melbourne?
Well, the Docklands is it's an amazing place. I mean, it's a beautiful waterfront. It has so much potential, and the infrastructure. There's certainly plenty to build off of. But I think it's commonly known that people want more life in the streets and the sidewalks. It needs to be more. There needs to be more street level initiative, and I think that really largely comes from smaller scale organizations and from people. And so things like the garden or more events. The other day we were in the garden and I saw a really great, they were holding a 5K run along the waterfront there, and I think that it's really important that these kinds of initiatives like the garden or that sort of thing, getting people out in the streets is really important. And so I think that's something that we're looking at, making the garden a much more appealing place to sit for people who enjoy artistic and inspiring environment. We're having talks right now with Spacecraft Studios to bring some of their designs into the fencing and the surrounds of the garden.
It'll be beautiful if we could have some, screen printing on the outside of the garden.
Botanic screen printing, and get the community involved and really making it their own. I think we're talking about potentially seeing if we can get a barbecue in there because as you see it along the Yarra River, there's all these barbecues that on a nice day people are in line to use them, and I think it's just something that would be a really great asset for the Docklands.
It's so simple, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that could really bring more people down to the Docklands, and it's just to be there, just to hang out on the waterfront, and it's not a commercial thing. It is placemaking and enjoying the public space and the being in the Docklands. Simply. So there's also the workshops.
The workshops. Well, Target 3008 is the final 2 free workshops are being held the first week of May, and this is, as the others, as part of Sustainability Victoria's Sustainability Fund. And we're holding 2 free workshops, as I'd said. The 1st of May is a Sunday and that's Intro to Organic Gardening. And then on Thursday, the 5th of May, we're having a rooftop and balcony gardening workshop as well, and everybody's welcome. Yeah. It's just a really great opportunity to kind of learn some of the ins and outs that you may not have known, and you can actually find out that gardening in urban environments is really practical and accessible, and it's really easy to do. So. Yeah.
That's really good, really insightful, and it's great to have you on board.
I'm glad to be on board.
Yeah, it's good. We're having fun up at Hub Melbourne, and we have our coffee down at Kinfolk. We enjoy our coffees at Kinfolk, which is a beautiful little cafe at the bottom of Hub Melbourne. So we're getting a lot of work done, and it's been very interesting working with you. So it's been good.
Great, positive, interactive
dynamic.
dynamic.
So, well, on that note, we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.